All right, to prove to you all I was going to put an intro in this, look, I've got a fishing pole. I got a prop and everything. But unfortunately, I am very ill today. So in lieu of that intro, I'm going to ask you all for a favor. If you are playing and enjoying Genesys, please, please, please post lists on social media with the hashtag YGOGenesys. Having spoken to Konami executives at the event, they told me in no uncertain terms this is the #1 thing that helps the format. If you are playing anything, post it under that hashtag. Good afternoon, Genesys gamers. I'm MBT, and this is 100-point playtesting. The first ever Genesys YCS has come and gone, and I, for one, had a lovely time. Top tables were most of what we expected, and most of what we've already covered. That said, there were a few surprises, including some interesting finishes from the fishes. Presenting GHOTI. So here's the list, a day 2 build from Jonathan Phillips at the YCS. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Looking for a place to find inspiration for Genesys decks? Well, look no further. I've already spent years telling you about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the best repository of deck lists, strategy articles, third-party assistance with alternate ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, and card collection management on the internet. But right now, it's also the best way to find Genesys lists. You can sort by deck type, filter high-level tournaments to see what's been working, and download decks you see in any format you desire. That's why I'm proud to be sponsored by www.ygoprodeck.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's get into GHOTI. GHOTI, or Fish, is a series of fish, or GHOTI, that synchro summon. A TCG exclusive turned fan favorite, this archetype has had a smattering of success, but never really rose from the depths of Rogue. That said, two things are alluring about this deck in Genesys. Firstly, a lack of links means you can chain together synchros, as the fish have always been wont to do. And secondly, the first penguin. This card, released in Bipro, finally gives the deck something resembling a one-card combo into an end board that's flexible, layered, and damn hard to interact with. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up, the GHOTI, we're playing one apiece of Snopoisis, Sykes, Schiff, Zep, Paces, and Keef. After that, we're on 3 copies of Ice Jade, Ran Agrind. This is a 1.5 card 10-star synchro. With this, we go into Gimmer Agrind or Chengying. After that, we've got the first Penguin, which if you control no face-up monsters, can be specialed from the hand. And then you can discard a card to reveal a Water Synchro monster from your extra deck to add a water monster from your deck to your hand with the same type, but a level lower than that monster. Then you can flip this card face down, but you won't. The card that you're going to be searching is Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark can special summon itself if you have a water monster on your side of the field, which you will, and then you can immediately synchro an Arion Pass with material in the graveyard for the Sykes. After that, we've got 3 copies of Tuneful Princess, 3 copies of Fishborg Harpooner, 3 white Sardine, and 1 white Sunfish. This is a really cool engine, I think is extremely powerful in this strategy. A Lifeless Leaf Fish, a Silent Angler, which the pilot said was the 40th card. I understand that. It doesn't seem particularly useful. And an Ass Piss Cool. We're playing 3 copies of Sekka's Light, because after we resolve a Royal Penguin's Garden or a White Reincarnation, there's not too much to do, and 3 copies of the 10-point Mulcharmy Perulia, which is a water. In the extra, we've got Ice Jade, Gimmer, Agrind, Chengying, GHOTI the Deep Beyond, Croco, White Aura Whale, Double Oscon, White Aura Monoceros, which is in here to get you a 6, a Coral Dragon, 2 Arion Pass, a White Aura Porpoise, a Crystron Condanks, a number 4 Stealth Kragan, and the 20-point Adamancipator Risen Dray Guide in the side. We've got Dark Rulers, Mistaken Arrests, a unique floodgate for these water decks, White Howling, the 6-pointed Nibiru, the Primal Being, and the 10-pointed Evenly Matched. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Doom Z, and we've opened pretty well. Our opponent, however, has not. They're going to set 1 card and pass turn. Nice deck, idiot. All right, we have to expect there's a lot of hand traps coming, so let's begin with Royal Penguin's Garden. From here, we can go ahead and summon out this copy of the #1 Penguin, and they will Ghost Mourner. We'll Sekka's Light afterwards, now that we're done with spells, and we'll summon out the White Sardine, followed by the White Sunfish. We got there anyway. From here, we can perform a Synchro Summon, going into an Arion Pa, banishing a Sykes, then activating the Sykes effect by banishing a White Sardine. We'll activate its effect, and then afterwards banish the White Sardine, following it up with the effect of Fishborg Harpooner, in order to summon from our hand said Harpooner, setting an Ass Piss Cool. From here, our opponent's going to go for Nibiru, but we can continue extending, courtesy of Paces and Beatuniful Princess, into Lifeless Leaf Fish. We'll send a Keef, then we'll activate the Snopios in hand in order to banish both the Aspiscul and the Keef. That's 2/4, so we'll make a Stealth Kragan, walk over the Nibiru, and get in for some amount of damage. The set card is a Power Patron Doom Z, which means that our opponent will have plays for next turn, but we will have something with which to contest it. Okay, in standby, we're just going to get these going. Let's begin with Keef to our side of the field and follow it up with a Paces. From here, our opponent's going to go for an Alara. They'll activate the effect for a Doomsy Raiders. They're going to go for the Doomsy Raiders, but because it has to activate, we'll go Ozcon and banish it. We'll also trigger the effect of the Snopios and the effect of the Ozcon in order to bring itself back alongside a Sykes. We'll use Sykes for a Zep, and then afterwards we'll banish the Sykes as they go for Nibiru on our turn. No big deal. We can still use Snopios here, banishing the Zep in hand and the Aspiscul in order to bring back the Zep and the Aspiscul in order to Synchro Summon a White Aura Whale and get rid of it. They'll pass turn, and we have lethal on board, courtesy of the damage we did earlier, but let's flex just a little bit. All right, get in for 28 and the token lethal. So it's time for game 2, and okay, Perulia in the opener is pretty good. We will activate it. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of Doomsy Raiders. Now, Doomsy doesn't summon a lot from the hand, but it also doesn't summon 0, so we should be all right. We'll use the effect of Doomsy Amalth and Alara here in order to grab a copy of Drastia. We're going to set the Droll and Lockbird as well. They're going to go for the Drastia effect, popping the Alara and getting a copy of Doomdurg. We will draw 1, and oh my god, set 3. That's horrifying. They're going to begin with Doomdurg as we go for Royal Penguin's Garden for first Penguin. From here, we can just go ahead for the first Penguin effect. They will chain the effect of Drastora to go into Drastoris and take our monster. Next, we can go for the effect of our White Sardine and follow it up with an Abyss Shark, but we don't really have a good out for Doomsy Destruction. We'll continue extending into a Torrential Tribute before finally going for a Harpooner and scooping. So it's time for that all-important game 3, and oh, this is a hand that does everything. Okay, we might have a little bit of decision paralysis here. I'm a little scared of Nibiru, and as a result, I like halfway play around it and then stop playing around it. Don't do this, folks. We're going to reveal White Porpoise, sending a copy of Ran Agrine for first Penguin, then we'll summon out this copy of Abyss Shark. That Shark will trigger for a White Sunfish, and because we already have the White Sardine in hand, I go for this now. We'll summon the White Sardine, then summon the White Sunfish, bringing back the White Sardine, and from here, we can use the Tuner and the 2 into a Dragite. Afterwards, we'll go into an Arion Pos to bring back the Sykes, use the Sykes effect in order to grab and then banish a Schiff, and then follow it up with the effect of the Ran Agrine to get her onto the field while we still have the zones to make Gims. We'll pass turn here and summon back this copy of Schiff into a top-decked copy of Ghost Mortar. Oh my god, that's so much of our interaction off. Next comes the Kaiju, and oh, this is as bad as it gets. They're going to go for Drastora and Power Patron Doomsy, equipping the Doomdurg, then activating the Drastora to go into Drastoras, taking our copy of Adamancipator Risen Dragite, and we are out of interaction. We have to survive here, but also we have to rebuild. We haven't really built a board that is resistant to a lot, that like can come back, which is really frustrating because I think we definitely could have. They're going to go for the Doomsy Destruction and the effect of Alara here, summoning it back and equipping an Elmoth before going to the battle phase and cleaning up the entire field, which is horrifying. They will go for a Deoctorus, trigger that effect to get rid of the Kaiju and walk over the Arion Pos, ending turn with an Angelic Ring. We'll draw for turn, it's nothing, so we'll scoop. So we're back with the deck, and what a top deck. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, this deck's extremely consistent. Obviously, you've got 6 1 cards in the first Penguin and Garden, but so many of the hands accomplish something regardless. Abyss Shark is good even when it isn't searched. 2, there's a grand total of 0 main deck points, which gives you an incredible ability to add sub-engines, hand traps, or bosses in your board. And 3, you're going to win a lot of games off of opponents who have no clue where to interact with you. And the cons. 1, it's kind of a fucking mess. Like, look at this. There's 12 1-ups. Each hand plays out differently based on what's in it, and the grips are odd. 2, it's kind of hard to juggle zones. You get away with it in the TCG because of Link monsters cleaning up and putting in the EMZ, but here, you kind of have to care what you've summoned. And 3, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of opponents that don't know what you're up to, but once they do, it's actually pretty easy to manage. Kaijus, Effect Negation, the Tuner, the Sykes, there's choke points. All in all, this is an incredibly skill-testing deck, and I'm not surprised to see it doing well.